everybody. I hope everybody's having a great week this week. So I have an announcement to make. It was requested if I can make these into files that are shareable so people could download the file. So I'm going to start adding the file below underneath the video to Cricut Design Space where you can download it through Cricut. I am working on figuring out how to make it an SVG file so everyone will be able to download it and use it. I also am working on going on the back videos and adding the file to those videos. So I also try to use images that are free so everybody can use them. I hope y'all enjoy the files, and if you have any questions or have any problem, you can leave me a message underneath the video and I'll get with you, or you can always email me at craftitwithjz@gmail. So this week I thought it would be fun to make a ladybug pop up, and there it is. So why don't we go ahead and get started, and we'll head over to Design Space and I'll show you how this is made. I'll meet you there. Okay, now that we're in Design Space, what we're going to do is go to Shapes. We're going to get a square. We're going to make it 10.5 by 6.5. Then we're going to go to Shapes again and we're going to get a score line. We're going to make the score line 6.5 inches long. Then we're going to grab the score line and our card base and go up to the top, align centered, and go down to the bottom and hit attach. Then for our pretty pieces of paper, we're going to use 4 of those. They're going to be 5 by 6.25. Then once we have all this, we can just group it together and then move it aside. Now let's go to Shapes. We're going to get a circle. We're going to make that circle 3.444 by 2.778. We're going to place the X at 0.005 and then the Y at 0. Then let's go to Shapes again and get an oval. And we're going to make that oval 2.833 by 3.114. We're going to rotate it 90 degrees. We're going to place the X at 0.094 and then the Y at 0.328. Then let's grab them both and then go down to the bottom and we're going to hit slice. And then this is the piece that we need to keep. The rest of this we can get rid of. Now let's go to Shapes again. We're going to get another oval. We're going to make that oval 3.444 by 2.778. Then we're going to place the X at 0.005 and then the Y at 0. Then we're going to get this moon shaped piece that we just sliced, and we're going to place the X at 0.098 and then the Y at 1.851. Then we're going to grab them both and then go down to the bottom and we're going to click on Weld. And then we should have this piece here. Now let's take that piece we just made. We're going to place the X at 1 and then the Y at 1.486. It should be 3.44 in width and then a height 3.161. Then we're going to go to Shapes and then we're going to get this half circle here. We're going to adjust it to 0.799 by 1.43. We're going to rotate it 89.97 degrees. We're going to place the X at 2.056 and then the Y at 1. Then I want you to grab both of them and then go down to the bottom and we're going to click on Weld. And then we have this piece here. Our shape we just made, the X on 0.422 and the Y at 1.125. Then we're going to go to Shapes. We're going to get a square. We're going to make that square 0.953 by 0.546. We're going to rotate it 90 degrees. We're going to place the X at 0 and then the Y at 2.514. Then we can right click, duplicate. We're going to adjust this one to 0.944 by 0.542. So we're going to place the X at 3.672 and then the Y at 2.514. Then we're going to grab them both and go down to the bottom and click on Weld. We're going to go to Shapes. We're going to get a half moon. We're going to make it 1.236 by 3.597. We're going to rotate it 90 degrees. We're going to place the X at 1 and then the Y at 1. Then we're going to right click, duplicate, and we're going to adjust it to 0.958 by 2.789. We're going to place the X on 1.392 and then the Y on 1.542. Then we're going to grab them both and then go down to the bottom and click on Slice. And then we're going to save this piece and get rid of everything else. Now we're going to take that piece we just made. We're going to rotate it 60.65 degrees. We're going to place the X at 1.337 and then the Y at 1.351. And then let's go to the Shapes. Let's get a circle. We're going to make that circle 1.028 by 1.069. We're going to place the X at 1 and then the Y at 1. Then we're going to grab them both and then go down to the bottom and click on Weld. Then we're going to adjust it to 0.864 by 0.856. Then we can right click, duplicate, and then let's go up to the top and click on flip horizontal, and then we have our two little antennas. Now let's just move this aside for a second. Now we're going to make sure our gray piece is on 1 and our Y is on 1.294. We're going to make sure the width is 3.86 and then the height is 3.341. Then we're going to take our little antennas here, and it should be 0.791 by 0.784. We're going to place the X on 1.941 and then the Y on 1. Then our other one we made, we're going to place the X on 3.188 and then the Y on 1. Then we can grab the blue one and hit Shift on our keyboard and grab the black one and then go down to the bottom and click on Weld. And then we should have one solid piece. And then what we can do is grab it all and go down to the bottom and click Weld, and then we'll have a solid piece here. Now our Ladybug should be 3.86 by 3.635. We're going to place the X and the Y on 1. Then we're going to go to Shapes. We're going to get a square. We're going to make it 0.038 by 2. We're going to place the X at 2.281 and then the Y at 2.896. And then we're going to right click, duplicate. Then we're going to place the X at 3.476 and then the Y at 2.896. Then if we highlight one of those lines we just made and then hold the Shift key and hold the other one and click on Weld, and then we grab it all and then go down to the bottom and hit Slice, we will have this now. Now what we're going to do is go to Shapes. We're going to get a score line. We're going to make that score line 0.873. We're going to place the X at 1.488 and the Y at 2.583. Then we're going to right click, duplicate. We're going to place the X at 4.44 and then the Y at 2.57. And your Ladybug should still be on the X and the Y at 1. Then let's right click, duplicate our score line. We're going to adjust that score line to 3.333. We're going to place the X at 2.951 and then our Y at 1.286. Then let's just grab everything and then go down to the bottom and click on attach. And there we have our ladybug. Now let's go to shapes. We're going to get a circle. We're going to make that circle 3.625 by 3.194. We're going to place the X at 1 and the Y at 1. Then we're going to go to shapes. We're going to get this triangle right here. We're going to make it 1.707 by 3.223. We're going to rotate it 78.81 degrees. We're going to place the X at 2.016 and the Y at 1.612. Then we're going to grab them both and then go down and hit slice. Then we should have something that looks like this. Now we are going to adjust this a little bit. We need to change it to 3.182 by 2.926 and we're going to rotate it 92.97 degrees. Then we're going to right click, duplicate, and then we are going to flip horizontal. So we should have one going this way and one going the opposite way. Okay, so we're going to take this piece that we just made with the bigger piece on the right side. We're going to rotate it 92.97 degrees. We're going to make sure it's 3.474 in width and 3.194 in height. We're going to place the X at 1 and then the Y at 1.013. Then we're going to go to shapes. We're going to get a square. We're going to make it 0.679 by 0.065. We're going to rotate it 271.24 degrees. We're going to place the X at 2.073 and then the Y at 1. And then we can grab them both and then go down to the bottom and we're going to click on slice. And then we can get rid of these little things. Then let's go to shapes. Let's get a score line. Then go up to operation and change it to a basic cut line. We're going to make it 1.651 in height. We're going to rotate it 358.74 degrees. We're going to place the X at 1.513 and the Y at 1.375. Then we're just going to grab them both and go down to the bottom and hit attach. And we can move this piece aside. Then let's get our other piece. It is going to be 3.474 in width and 3.194 in height. We're going to rotate it 267.03. We're going to put the X at 1 and then the Y at 1. Then we're going to go to shapes. We're going to get a square. We're going to make that 0.679 by 0.065. We're going to rotate it 271.24 degrees. We're going to place the X at 3.017 and then the Y at 1.403. Then we're going to grab that square we just made and our circle, and we're going to go down to the bottom and click on slice. Then let's get rid of those pieces. Then let's go to shapes. We're going to get a score line. We're going to change it to a basic cut line. We're going to make it 1.651 in height. We're going to rotate it 358.74 degrees. We're going to place the X at 3.624 and the Y at 1.237. And then we're going to grab it all and then go down to the bottom and click on attach. Now we have this group together here, and then go over to your layers panel, and I want you to hide this cut line. And then we just have this here because we need to adjust this. We need to make it 2.927 by 3.163. And then we can just put our cut line back on there, and then we're good to go on that one. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side over here. We're just going to go and hide our cut line, and we're going to adjust it to 2.927 by 3.162. We can go back over to our layers and bring it back up. Now, for this holes and stuff I made in here, I'm just going to let you guys decide how you want to. I just took different shapes and rearranged them, and I sliced this side. But on these, I wanted to use vinyl for mine, so I just did all kinds of different circles, and then I just grouped it together. Pieces are done, and we can move those aside. Okay, now let's go to shapes. We're going to get a circle. We're going to make that circle 1.235 by 2.902. We're going to rotate it 46.73 degrees. We're going to place the X at 2.382 and the Y at 1. Then we're going to go to shapes, and we're going to get an oval. We're going to make that oval 2.288 by 1.447. We're going to place the X at 1.217 and the Y at 1.895. Then let's go to shapes. Let's get a square. We're going to make that square 3.09 by 0.581. We're going to rotate it 165.25 degrees. We're going to place the X at 1 and then the Y at 1.087. Then we're going to grab it all, and we're going to go down to the bottom and click on weld. I want you to highlight it, and then let's go to contour, and then let's hide that little triangle right there. Then I want you to right click, duplicate, and then we're going to flip horizontal. So you want one going this way and one going the opposite way. This first one, we're going to place the X on 1 and the Y on 1.014. Then this next one that we flip, we're going to place the X at 4.444 and the Y at 1. Then we're going to go to shapes. We're going to get a square. We're going to make it 0.944 by 0.167. We're going to rotate it 345.97 degrees. We're going to place the X at 3.642 and the Y at 2.866. Then we're going to right click, duplicate, rotate it 14.03 degrees. We're going to place the X at 4.35 and then the Y at 2.88. Then we're going to grab it all and then go down to the bottom and click on weld. Then we're going to go highlight it, go to contour, and then we're going to hide that middle piece right there. Now we can flip and flip vertical, so it looks like this. We're going to put our X and our Y on 0, and then we're going to go to shapes. We're going to get a square. We're going to make it 0.079 by 0.716. We're going to rotate it 177.69 degrees. We're going to place the X at 3.932 and the Y at 1.104. Then we can right click, duplicate. We need to adjust this one just a little. It needs to be 0.073 by 0.663. It's the X at 5.206 and the Y at 1.104. Then we're going to grab both of those squares we just made, and then we're going to go down to the bottom and click on weld. Then we're going to click on the welded part and then click on our wings, and then we're going to click on slice. Now if you want to put these in, you guys can just do that. I just went and just created different shapes. Like I took this piece and took another piece and hit slice, and then I had this piece, and then I just made them smaller and put them in here and then sliced them out. Only thing left to do is resize our wings, and we want them to be 6.659 by 2.238. Okay guys, so these are all the basic pieces we're going to need to make this card, and you can add any additional things that you would like to add. Don't forget to go up and save and name your project. And this is what it looks like once we upload it. When you get the file, we're going to ungroup it, and then we are going to have to change these to. Okay guys, so before we head over to the craft table to craft, I wanted to go over the SVG file on a step-by-step on how you're going to download it and use it. I am working on getting all the SVG files for all the other cards that I have done previously. It's just going to take me a minute because I am also still learning how to create and make the SVG files. I also just want to give a big shout out to Daniel, another fellow crafter that helped me out, and I just want to say thank you. So let's go ahead and get into how this is done. So when you go over to YouTube, you're going to see the description of what this week's video is, and then we'll just click on show more, and there's going to be an SVG file, and there'll also be a file to Design Space, so if anybody wants to upload and use that file in Design Space. But go ahead and click on the SVG file, so we'll just click on the link. When we click on that, for me it takes me to my Google, and then we can highlight it, and then once it's highlighted we can right click, and then down at the bottom there's a file that says download. If you'd like to preview it, we can click on preview, and it's going to show you the pieces here. This is all the pieces for this week. Anytime you have an SVG and it has score lines, it changes them to cut lines, so you will have to change each of those. So we can go ahead and go up here to the top and click the download button, and it should pop up over here, and it will download, and it's going to download to wherever you have it saved as to download. So now what we can do once it's downloaded is go over to Design Space. We're going to click upload. Then we're going to click on upload image, then browse. We're going to highlight the file, and then we're going to come down to the bottom and click on open. Then it looks like this. Now you can rename the image. We can just, if you want, we can just do Ladybug, and then go down to the bottom and click on upload. And there, if I linger over it, it says Ladybug, and then we can highlight it and then go to add to canvas. And this might be a little different if you're using another program. Then once we have it in our canvas, let's go up to the layers panel, and we're going to ungroup it. And now we need to change these to score lines. They're cut lines right now. So there's a cut line here, here, and here, and we need to change those. So if we go over and we ungroup it, so if you highlight one by clicking on it and then hold your shift key and then hold each of the others, and then we can go up to operation and then change it to a score line. And then we have them changed, and then we just want to grab it all and then go down to the bottom and click on attach. Now the only other one that needs to have a change to it are the wings here. Another way you can do it So if we go over to the layers panel and you click on that where it says basic cut, make sure it's highlighted in gray. And if we go up to operation and change it to a score line, it's already changed and it's still grouped together. We need to do is to resize this. So if we grab each of our pieces and then go up to the top and click on align and then align center and then go over and click on group so nothing moves. So for inches, you're going to want to change the width to 6.659, and then for the centimeters you want to change it to 16.914. So make sure it's highlighted and grouped together and centered, and then we'll just go up to the width, and if you're using inches, which I am, I'm going to change it to 6.659, and then you can ungroup it, and this is the size that we need it to be. Now you can make this smaller. This is just the size I used on my card. You can't really make it much bigger. So I also want to show you in this file, if you ungroup, I also did the dots, the spots for the Ladybug. So those are there also. And let's go ahead and get our pieces cut out, and then we'll meet at the craft table and we'll put this together. I'll see you there. So now that we're back at the table, we can go ahead and get our pretty paper and our card base, and we can go ahead and work our score line and then put our pieces of paper on. And this week our card is going to open like this. Okay, now that we have our card base done, what we can do is get our pieces of our Ladybug, so which is 4 pieces. So what we can do is go ahead and on our Ladybug, work our 2 score lines on this side and in the center. Then once we have that worked, this is going to be a mountain fold in our card like so, okay? And what I do is line my Ladybug up about in the middle, and tape is going to go on the front side of our tab, or you can use glue. I'm going to use tape. So line your score line up in the center with your center on your card. And then I'm going to fold it back over like so, and then fold my tab down with my tape on it, and then pull my tape off. Just fold your card to it. On this side, I'm going to mountain fold it and put tape on, and then fold it too. And then you have your little Ladybug, okay? And this is a relatively simple card to put together. So on our wings, our big wings, that's what's next. So why don't we go ahead and work the score line on it, and it's gonna be a valley fold. And we just shimmy this up the center like so, and then hook it in like so. Isn't that cute? Okay, so on this piece, what we have is we're gonna take it and the slit, we're gonna work up through this slit, and this will go under the red wing, okay? And the top cut is on the left side. So it should look like that. And then this side, we do the exact same thing. And what I am noticing is if you decide to put, do like a wing and do the cutouts, keep in mind not getting too close to your slot where we've cut it open, because it is becoming a little flimsy right now. So that's just something to keep in mind. It's still gonna work. So we're just gonna feed it up through and underneath our first red wing. And then this side, we're gonna fold under and put it up through our slit. Okay? And there we have it. And it just shuts up very nicely in our card. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and go and decorate the rest of my card, and then I'll be back to show you what I came up with. Okay guys, so here is my finished card. It says, "Hello lady," and I just did some flowers with ladybugs. And then we open it up and it says, "Dropping in to bug you." I just think this just turned out so freaking cute. Do you know why ladybugs don't play hide and seek? Because they always get spotted. And of course on the back we have a place we can write a message, and I just did some more flowers and ladybugs, and that's it guys. I just want to say thank you so much for stopping by and crafting with me. Don't forget to stop by next week to see what's popping and dropping. Bye.